What's good, Cowboys Nation? Welcome into another episode of the Sky Into I Show. I am your host, Skywalker Steele, here, as always, with my twin.
Hello.
Right.
Hello.
2I in the building. Oh, if y'all didn't know, before we get into the Mile High meltdown, it happened to take place on our birthday. And I would ask you, and you've already asked me, and I've already asked you, how was your birthday weekend and everything? And everything seemed to be cool for us, except that portion of the day, 2I.
Kind of, because I definitely Saturday night I started coming down with something, and then I've been mixed sick. So I've been sick of the Cowboys, and then really seriously sick. So, but my
Yeah.
birthday weekend was good though.
Yeah. I
It was
enjoyed
good
my
though.
birthday for sure. I wasn't finna let the Cowboys ruin it. They tried their damnedest to do so, right? They really, really did. And let's just jump straight into it. I know Cowboys Nation is ready to kind of hear our thoughts on this specific game. Look, I went into this, and I've been doing this over the last few years. I've looked at some of these games as they go on throughout the season, the schedule that is, and say these are kind of checkmark games. These are tests, right? And I thought this Denver game was a midterm per se.
Mm-hmm.
I thought specifically for the Cowboys offense, because that our offense is an elite offense in my opinion, and that is an elite defense, right? But it also was just a test in general for this team in Mile High, and damn it, they went into that test high as hell. I don't understand how they can travel all the way to Denver and get their ass kicked the way they did. I mean, they went into the altitude with no attitude. They went to Denver and they must have hit up those dispensaries, because it's just you can't have all the things that were happening in this game happen and expect to get the dub when you have a putrid side of the football. 2I. And I feel like Sean Payton was 3 steps ahead of Eberflus,
Absolutely.
because duh. And I felt like Vance Joseph was able to stay 1 step ahead of Shoddy, and really because that he was able to make them one dimensional. But it was just a total cluster F up there in Denver, and we'll break it all down. But it was frustrating to watching that game, because it felt like there were moments in there where you could have kept pace, and this thing could have came down to the wire.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, the clipboard warriors. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They mattered in this game, and I felt like, to your point, this is one of we heard Brian Schottenheimer talk about in his presser yesterday, being really hard on himself about some of the decisions he made, and things he felt like he could have done better. And I appreciate that from him. Sometimes it does, like, it be like, dang, like, oh. But I do appreciate him being honest about the fact that he felt like this is one of his not so good games, and he
Right.
would be correct. I mean, I feel like that's something that I took from this game in general, is like, unfortunately, you're still going through growing pains on the defensive side with the scheme and everything. And I know we're going to get into it, but you're also going through the growing pains in some instances of a play caller that is now a head coach, that
Mm-hmm.
is also getting back in the rhythm of, doing play calling and having to manage the game as well. And so I think, as he grows, and then also too, you're in week 8, so people got tape on you. People understand what you're doing schematically. So he is gonna have to evaluate some of the stuff he's doing, because it did feel like the Broncos did, were reading you were one dimensional to some degree,
You're
like you were
one
saying.
dimensional
You're
to
one
every
dimensional.
degree. You couldn't run the football.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you
And
can't run the football against that defense in that front, and
yeah.
a quality defensive coordinator, you're going to have tails. And there was a play in that game where Dak checked, and you saw Denver knew.
Yeah.
Just Denver knew what was coming, and that goes back to what you're saying. Now there's some tape out. Now how do you counter?
Yeah, and I think this was, again, to your point, you going, this is good on good. One of the best defenses in the league, one of the best offenses in the league. Now Shoddy can go look and say, okay, well, yeah, they picked that up, then I might change that up. I might have to throw a wrinkle in there.
Sure.
We might need to, there's multiple options in this play. Instead of going to the option that we typically go to, we might have to throw some different things out there. So I think it's also some growing pains on the offensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah. Let's just say this here, because I don't want to spend too much time on that side. When I say that side, I'm talking about the defense. The defense is terrible from the rooter to the tutor, right? I'm gonna keep on saying that from top to bottom. It is bad, and I don't know what more can we say at this point. Yes, they were decimated in the secondary, but you're still having bad linebacker play. Your interior is increasingly each week getting bad. Like
which is
we can
very
have a conversation
concerning.
about Kenny Clark if we want to, but I know that'll set off the Voldemort. You know, people who don't like Voldemort and get over this. I get you, but dude, he hasn't been good in a long time. It's been since like the early part of the year. But that's a whole different conversation. You could also have a conversation about the guy you paid next to him and also who hasn't been above average most of the season. Your pass rush is bad. The cornerback plays bad. It's just a bad. Your coach is bad. It's bad to I. Do we need to really like it is what it is with
No,
this defense?
no, we don't need to ponder on it. I mean, I think you're at a, and then also you mentioned the injuries. I think the injuries just exacerbate. If
Yeah.
you already have a communication issues with your starters, imagine what you're having. And I said this on Girls Talk today is like, just like in basketball, an NFL team has rotational role players. What you're seeing right now from this defense is that you have a plethora of rotational role players that probably would play really well in spots and help you out that are your starters.
Yeah.
And there's no difference maker really at any level outside of maybe a Deron Bland if you want to go there. And so it's too much to overcome. And then you factor in the pre-snap penalties. Cowboys are second in the league now in penalties this year. And just the you not lining up in the right place, like the pass interferences, the miscommunications, all that stuff. It's just, and the thing is, a lot of their penalties come on third down. You don't have the room for that. You're not good enough
You don't
to
have the
be
room
having.
for
Go ahead.
error on the other side of the ball either.
No, and that's a tough place to be in because in this NFL, you're going to make mistakes. Like, no one plays, like, very seldom do you see teams play a completely clean game, and we're not even gonna get into the officiating and how it looks throughout the NFL. So the likelihood of anybody, you have to know how to pick and choose your battles. You're gonna have to overcome some stuff, but you can't keep shooting yourself in the
I
foot,
was about to say,
and that's what this defense and this offense did on Sunday. They
yeah,
shot
you
themselves
you
in the foot.
can you can argue about objective calls, but you can't pre-snap penalties, that's on you.
Yeah.
And there were two early in that game that really hurt you to start that game in a
Mhm,
situation where you cannot start off slow. And I do want to get to some key turning points early in that game, later on in the show. But
mhm,
when you go in, and the reason why I said what I said about the defense is because this is going to turn into an offensive kind of breakdown of the game because I felt like your offense was going to have to obviously carry,
mhm,
right? Like yeah, they had a good game last week in the Denver game. Some about the Washington game. The defense had a good game, but as I've been saying, I'm not falling for the cheese. You got to show me back to back weeks before I start saying anything with my chest with that damn defense. And once again, they're back on their BS, and I'm just totally done with that side of the ball. So offensively, and this is unfair to the offense, you don't have room to make a bunch of mistakes. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, but a bunch of mistakes. You don't have room to be lacking in the details of the offense. You don't have room to be undisciplined. You talk about the timely penalties. There was a bunch
mhm,
of those in this game. You cannot lose the line of scrimmage. You
mm.
have to pack your run game on the road, especially against a top defense. You just have to, and you can't compound it with turnovers. Yeah, that Cowboys loss to the Denver Broncos just did not put me in a great mood, and I'm pretty sure most Cowboy fans also were a little bit down. But let me put you on something that helps me unwind after those long days after a Cowboys loss. It's these cornbread hemp CBD gummies. Listen, life can get crazy, and sometimes you just need something to help you relax and recharge. Or get back into the swing of things after a bad Cowboys loss. And these gummies are made from 100% organic hemp, and they only use the flower. That's where the purest form of CBD comes from. No stems, no seeds, no junk, just full spectrum goodness. Now, I'm not here to make wild claims. I've tried these bad boys, the TCH gummies right here. I got the Blueberry Breeze. They taste very good, and they also get you in a nice, chill, good mood to ease the tension and reset for the next day. Here's the best part. My audience, the listeners, get 30% off on your first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/steele and use the promo code STEELE. That's cornbreadhemp.com/steele. Promo code STEELE. Take care of yourself. Your body will thank you.
Can I say something about the run game? It's like when you start looking within the game, um, it's not it wasn't necessarily what they were trying to do in the run game. I thought that Clayton Adams schematically had some things that I
Did
was
his thing.
excited
He
to
did
see. Yeah,
normally what he does. Yeah.
it was the execution. It was the execution. I mean, your center struggled. Tyler Smith had maybe one of his more poor games. Tyler Booker, obviously coming back from injury, he wasn't the cleanest, but he's a rook. He should have room for a buffer. Um, we know that Guyton, that's not his strongest suit. I think he played better than what I initially thought from a pass protection standpoint as you looked into the film. Terrence Steele, it just your interior got their A words whooped. They did.
21 pressures, I think, on a day, and it wasn't all. Now there was some plays where your tackles got whooped or individuals got whooped, but Vance Joseph was just playing with your offense, and we knew this because that's what they blitz at a 47% rate. That's among the highest in the league.
Lot of run blitzing too.
They'll
Yeah, a
send
lot of
pressure it.
mhm,
There was one they kept getting free guys home because I don't think Hoffman was seeing there wasn't communication, and so there was a guy free, and there would be 2-on-1 and still has to pick the outside inside, and your talk got to get the inside. The quarterback has the
mhm,
outside. It was just Vance was again one step ahead in this game.
mhm. And then, also too, I thought that Javante had part of his poor games in pass protection and stuff like that. Again, to your
Tough
point,
assignment.
yeah, very tough assignment with the simulated pressures and some of the different looks and stuff that they were throwing at them. They also did some things that they haven't done much, which was that double A gap blitz. That's not something I've seen when I was watching them. Not something I saw them do as much as they did in this past game. So they felt like they can attack your interior. So
That's
um,
because of what they saw other teams do to Dallas,
yeah,
specifically
yeah.
Chicago. You
Yeah, with
know,
the run game, yeah, with the run game, um, I wanted to make sure we mentioned that is that but I also it felt weird for me though, because I felt like when they did run the ball in spots, it was successful. It's I couldn't figure out, like, could they not stick to it because, they were playing from behind a lot of this game,
yes.
or was it also too like that they maybe went away from it a little bit more than what I would have liked for them to? Because I felt like coming out at the end of the half,
I mean, you had to throw
maybe
at the end of the half.
yeah.
You're talking, when they had like 30 seconds, like you can't run the ball there. I don't think they ran the ball well. You talked about it being executed. It was not
Yeah,
executed
they didn't
well.
execute
You
it
got
well,
whooped
yeah.
up front. There was a play. And look, I'll get to it. Here's how I want to set this up. Before I get to the key turning points, I
Mhm.
want to talk about Shoddy real quick because eventually this was going to happen, right? I haven't come out of games just overly like, man, this was a bad Shoddy game. This was one.
Yeah, this is
And
one.
it wasn't for me about game plan. It wasn't for me about design. It wasn't any of that, honestly. For me, it was about not being aggressive enough. It
Situationally,
was
yeah.
about not understanding your team enough or having blind faith in the other side of the ball. And a lot of that came on the fourth down decisions. I don't
Mm,
know if it was you that I joked about with this, but I was like, hey, man, at this point, Shotty just got to go for it every time.
I
Maybe
think it
not
was
every
me.
time, but damn it, it's getting close. And
Mm,
when you go and you look at the statistics of the situation, the Cowboys are one of the best fourth down converting teams in the league. They convert at a 78% clip. And it's not like they've only, went for it 3 times out of the year, you know? So it's kind of mind boggling when he decides not to do it. And there were so many opportunities. I want to go down the opportunities for the Cowboys to go for it on fourth down where it could have impacted this game, if you will. So The first one was on, and by the way, some of these plays we're going to revisit. The first one was 4th and goal on the opening drive. You're at the
Oh,
6 yard line, and we'll get to why you're at the 6 yard line. But you're at the 6 yard line. I I understand that the penalty backs you up, but if you go into that saying I got 2 downs, then maybe you can run it on third and then throw it on fourth, or just run it back to back if you get close enough. Because you have to look at it as this way: the way our defense has been playing. Granted, yes, they got an interception. Whoop de doo, as they say.
whoop did it.
Whoop de doo. You got a gift, but history says your defense is not good enough. So make them have to go 96 yards, make them have to go
Mhm.
98 yards, whatever it may be, as opposed to now having to go 30, or I'm sorry, 60 yards, whatever it is nowadays. So that was one. 4th and 1 at your 29, you were down 20-10.
Oh my
They just
god.
scored a touchdown on 3 of the last 4 drives. You're in the second quarter here. 4th and 1. At this point, you're down 20-10. They've scored 3 touchdowns in 4 possessions. Just go. Because
Yeah.
if they end up scoring, which they did anyway, they score quickly, you get the ball back. Speaking of scoring quickly, I don't recall the last time the Cowboys won time of possession by 7 freaking minutes and lost by 20 points. That's nuts. That means the opposing offense is moving the ball at warp speed on your defense. All right. The other one, where they finally went for it. 4th and 3, down 27-10 in the third quarter. What happens to they convert. They convert and score a touchdown, by the way. And then 4th and 6, you're down 30-17. The Denver Broncos have scored points on 5 of 6 possessions. You are
Hmm.
on your 44. You were gifted a fumble recovery, by the way. You didn't recover that fumble, but they gave it back to you. And you punt the ball.
Yeah, I
I
was hot.
said at that point in time, oh, either A, he coaching scared, or B, this is the first game where you see the game management and play calling aspect completely glitch his brain. Has he
Mm.
had moments throughout the year? Little moments, and that was cool, little moments. But when you have moments throughout the game, you were overwhelmed
Mm.
as a play caller and head coach, and I'm hoping he learns from that. But there is no excuse, seeing how bad your defense is playing and has played over the year, for you to shrivel up in those moments. You have to be more aggressive. That's the most disappointing part for me, for
No, I
Shoddy.
agree. I agree that that's honestly something I took from this game is the growing pains of him getting back, and then also too, it's not just about Shoddy. I mean, on that side of the ball, we've been very happy about their performance, but at the same time, this is the first time that these guys are coaching together as well. And to your point, I just felt like there's gonna be times where the clipboard warriors matter, and Denver's were just better. Their game plan was better. The way they managed the game was better.
Yep.
And to your point about Shoddy, he's a head coach that is a play caller now. This is an opportunity for him to take what he learned and what he saw and some of the decisions he made and learn from them. And hopefully we can see him do better moving forward because you don't want like one thing I know from even with Mike McCarthy's time here, and I wasn't super well versed in Mike McCarthy's his track record when it came to situational football, but once you get that label as a coach that does not good do well situationally, it feels like it just does not
And
go
to
well.
be fair, almost every coach is not great, honestly, situationally.
I'm tracking that,
Yeah, to be fair,
but
the issue
with the
here
4th down
wasn't
stuff though, it's
necessarily
like
a moment situationally. It was
mhm.
consistently you were making, I'll call it, boneheaded decisions, or lacking the aggressiveness, as opposed to, hey, you were bad in the 4 minute offense at the end of a close game and it cost you the game. Like we've seen that with McCarthy. Like we've seen bad 2 minute management. We've seen that with McCarthy. This was every other possession, pretty much every quarter. There's a decision there where it's like, what are you doing? This looks like you're overwhelmed for me.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it had anything to do with again, like the run game wasn't as successful as it needed to be? There was no play action really. Do you think it had to do with the fact that, he wasn't sure they would be able to block up anything?
In regards to these, no, because it's fourth and
I'm
goal.
asking because I'm just trying to rational. I
It's
understand. No,
fourth
I
and goal.
I
You got to try
share
to
your
score. It's
sentiment.
fourth and one. You got to try to convert. It's fourth and six. You're down 13. Like they're you have to throw all that out. Like this is and it's so funny because he said something in his presser yesterday that
Mm,
now he said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing. Essentially, it's do or die to them. Should have probably been coaching that way on Sunday. But
mhm.
now we're in do or die mode. He said it's like what did he say? It's like one and done or something along those lines. It's like okay, now that's the game for me. I have to come out and I'm like, Shotty, I'm looking at you, and that is look. I'm not taking away from the poor defense. As I said at the start of this show, we can all agree. I'm not about to spend an hour talking about the putrid. This defense is terrible. I wanted to focus on what can this offense learn from in this game, and can we and real quick kudos and props to this Denver defense is good. I
Yeah,
know some people thought, it's a no. This is a legitimately, this is an elite defense, man.
well
They play on a
coached.
string, well coached. They have an elite. They have two elite aspects to their team that the second level doesn't have to be elite, right? It just has
Mhm.
to be solid enough, and it is. So you got to give them credit too. Hat tip to those gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I mean, it's just him. Like I said, he's gonna have to develop some more counters, some more things he can do. The quarterback wasn't comfortable all day
No,
in there, and I
no,
think, and I'm gonna say one thing that I will say about Shotty is that it does seem like he is very in tune with Dak, and maybe we'll get more information on maybe the quarterback being off kilter and not being as comfortable had something to do with some of the decisions as well. We don't know. But I just feel like
I just think he
what
coached scared in this
I
one.
mean, yeah, I understand that. What I'm saying is that also too, it didn't help that your quarterback didn't seem like he was in a rhythm or that he was comfortable and
But
it like
what choice do you? But I understand. But what choice do you have when you're down
you don't
30 to
got
7? What
one.
choice do you have? Right, like you got to go. And on Dak's point, it wasn't. They 21 pressures in this game, dude.
It's
Like
insane.
it's
And a
21
lot
pressures,
from
and you had how many on the other side? Five.
I sometimes the numbers for the pass rush are so stifling. And if you look at the tapes, there are times where guys are just like huddled, crowded together. Like there is no speed threat on
This
this
is the worst pass rush I've
defensive
seen in
line.
Dallas in like a decade.
Except for, I mean, and again, it's crappy because Donovan Izaraku is really growing, and because he doesn't really have anyone opposite of him to draw that attention, or also too to just kind of aid in him coming along, it's hard to even like hone in on the fact that he is like really starting to get there because no one else is. It's
Yeah. It's
bad.
it's it's just bad over there. But
Sorry,
to
we ain't
to
gotta talk
to
about
the
it. We ain't talk
Dak
about it.
point, this is the problem too with him. Is it is known when he starts pressing, he starts playing gunslinger YOLO. I got to get 14 points in one play. And that happened at the end of that half.
Mhm.
He's trying to get a touchdown, which inexplicably he shouldn't have, because you didn't have timeouts. All you were going to do right there was likely get up, clock it, and what maybe one more play. And I guess that's what he's thinking. And then if you don't get it, kick the field goal. And I know everybody's like, oh man, we had a chance at the Aubrey 70-yarder. That's all fine and dandy. I was more so hoping they can try to get 7, 8 more yards and make it a regular Aubrey kick just so we can get the 3 points and head in. But
Mhm.
that goes to, I think, the other side being so putrid and him trying to chase I used to always say it. He's trying to chase 14 points in one throw. And we saw him do that a lot over, the 20 like 1-3 or whatever it was.
And we haven't seen that from
We
him,
haven't seen
really.
that
We've
this
seen him
year.
be very patient. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen him really take what the defense gives him. We've seen him be aggressive. We've seen him under surge, like and under fire,
He's been good
in
under
other games.
pressure. He
Yeah,
honestly, I don't think he was terrible under pressure in this game when I went back and watched. I mean, he was sacked what 2 or 3 times. It could have been 7.
it could have been worse. Yeah, I just
It,
think
he delivered that fourth down getting rocked. By the way,
there's times where Dak goes into an "F it" mindset.
YOLO.
Yeah, there's times where he can, and we haven't seen that much from him this year. And I'm hoping that he can, kind of reel that in. But it's hard, and it's very natural for your body does that. Like if your shoulders mess up, then your left shoulder's messed up, then your other shoulder you start compensating. It's just how. It
And
is.
when you become one dimensional, like the Cowboys did, and you then not only just one dimensional, but you're playing catch up at that, right? It'd be
Mhm,
one thing if it was like 10-point game, a whole game, a 7-point game, whole game. You can't run, but at
mhm.
least the threat of the run is still there, even if they don't respect it. You're down 17 and you're chasing 17 points all damn game, and you can't run. Vance is like, gotcha. And you
Oh,
saw
yeah.
the secondary just, we're just waiting. We're just waiting. We're just waiting. And they put a lid. They did. And we saw, they did it in a different way than Chicago did, but they put a lid on the deep plays and things like that. And I think we needed to be better, I think, with the underneath stuff. But again, got to give a hat tip to them. They took away Jake Ferguson very well.
Mhm.
They did play snug coverage on the outside when they played man, but when they gave you space and when Pat Surtain went out, I think you were able to take advantage of that other corner. But man, they were making you matriculate down the field and you couldn't get the big plays.
Yeah, no, it was just I think, it reminded me of not the same, but defensively, it reminded me of the San Fran
San
days
Fran,
and the way that San Fran would really just know
make it
everything,
hard.
like, all you can do is throw things underneath.
You got to earn every
Like,
yard.
you have to seriously earn it, and you're not doing anything really threatening towards us right now. Um, yeah, I think that was the if I was gonna come out of this game, that would be, I guess, the more concerning thing was, like, offensively, if there is a team that can take the run out of it, what are you? How do you counter from that? How do you figure that side of things out? And
See,
again, I think
okay,
they could pass,
yeah.
but your offensive line also has to play better as well.
I'll be fair. I don't know that you're going to see another defense of this caliber the rest of the season on your regular season schedule. If you somehow, some way make it to the playoffs, you could see some really good defenses then. But I think we've seen. I think was it the Panthers game? Wasn't a great run day, but you could have won that game. Your defense just couldn't get no damn stops, and
Mhm,
it is what it is. But I think they can throw the ball against worse defenses if they don't run the ball well, but not that one. You needed to pack your run game,
mhm,
and you needed again. We talk about these moments. This was one of those games offensively where again the defense is not going to compliment you. All right, so there's moments in these games you can't let slip away. If you will, if I can turn to some of these key moments and we can kind of go talk about them and just how you were feeling at the time. Before we get back to the video, I know we have a lot of smart football fans, so why not use that football knowledge to make some bread by downloading the Sleeper app for your daily fantasy sports. Let me get into my picks for Thursday night. We got Lamar Jackson, 35 and a half yards rushing. First game back in a couple games he's been out. Give me more. Come on, man. I know he's excited to get back. You know he's going to use his legs as weapons. This should be an easy more for Lamar Jackson. Let's stick with Lamar Jackson here. More or less on 1.5 touchdowns. Again, give me more. When he's missing action as long as he's had, I think going up against a very bad Miami defense, he's not only going to run for a lot of yards, but he's also going to throw for multiple touchdowns. Smash the more on that side of the ball. If you flip on the other side to the Miami Dolphins, not a whole lot of good going on over there, but A-Chain, the running back, is a touchdown machine. Anytime touchdown for A-Chain. Yes, I know this defense for Baltimore played better against the Bears, but it's still not where it used to be, and A-Chain just does one thing. He gets into the end zone. So I got more for Lamar Jackson on rush yards. I got more for Lamar Jackson on pass touchdowns, and I got anytime touchdown for A-Chain. By the way, you also can get $20 free entry, no deposit needed, your first time in downloading the app and participating. Once again, get a 100% match up to $100 by using my promo code STEELE. That's STEELE. The
okay.
very first one, right out the gate. These are early because game was over pretty much at halftime. Granted, yes, you came out at half and you made it a 10-point game, but then your defense went down and gave up some points again. But the first one, opening drive. You drive all the way down to the 3-yard line.
Mhm.
And first play you run, get it down to the 1. Second play they ran play action pass. People got upset with that, but again, people throw the ball on the goal line. It's not a big deal.
It's worked. It's
It's
worked
not a big
before.
deal. People throw the ball on the goal line. Where I think people are forgetting, they were about to run it in for a touchdown to Javonte Williams. You've seen him pissed when they snap the ball and the line's firing out the block. Dak turns around and hands it off. They get mad because they blow the whistle dead because guess what happened? Penalty.
Penalty.
Full start. Pick your guy. Smith, Guyton, whoever, Hoffman, whoever the hell, right? All of them full start. Back it up to the 6-yard line. But if you think about it, people are like, man, we should have ran the ball. They were going to run the ball 2 out of 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the frustration, but once you're 3rd and 6, if they decide that we're not going for it on 4th, then yes, you throw the ball. This goes back to what I meant by going for it on 4th down. I would have said this is 2 plays to get 7.
Mm-hmm.
Run it. If you don't run it in, you get it to the 1 or the 2. Run it again, or throw however you want to do it. So that part right there, I think it was the full start. I really think started the kind of downtrend of the offense right out the gate, because if you get 7 there, I think you get a little bit more momentum.
Can you say false again?
False start.
Okay.
What happened?
No, your accent just coming through.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, is that's a key turning point for me.
Oh no, absolutely. They were 2 of 4 in the red zone. The penalties killed them in the red zone, like
Mm,
getting backed up. And don't get me wrong, like, and I think that goes back to what you were saying before. Is like against against any other defense, maybe you could figure it out, but against a defense like that, especially if you not only are you like getting backed up, but you've already kind of showed some of the stuff that you were trying to do.
yeah, very,
Yeah.
very frustrating. Opening job. I'm like, in my head, I think I even text Foots. I was like, all right, we got to convert
Yeah.
everyone down here now, because there's your 3. You're not going to convert them all, but there's your 3. You better convert the rest.
Mhm.
The second one, you were down 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. It's 3rd and 10. Dak scrambles for 7. Would have made it like 4th and
Man,
3,
don't
right?
piss me off, Sky,
And I
again.
think they were in field goal range at that point, or they could have went for it on 4th and 3. One of the two. Would have preferred to go for it, but had you kicked the field goal, it's a 1 possession game. Flag on the play. Holding Terrence Steele, which great rep, by the way, by Terrence Steele. Probably his best rep of the damn day. And they caught holding when Dak scrambled. And yes, every tackle does that on a scramble, but he let go. I think what happened was when Terrence went like that, that's when the ref threw the flag. And they threw a flag, back up 3rd and 20, quick pressure, throw it away, punt the ball. And he got whooped the second time. He had a good rep before that, and he got whooped the second time. Huge play, because you either get 3 or you go for it, potentially go down and score to make it 14-10. Cannot have the holding there. Well, it's debatable if that was really a holding, but that's
I
what
didn't
happened.
think it was
I
old
didn't think it was either.
personally. I thought coming into this game, obviously Denver plays a lot of man, highest clip in NFL, and I was looking for Dak to use his legs in this
And
game
he
because
was.
he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, and I thought that him using his legs would work well in tandem with Javonte if they were able to get anything going on the ground, but obviously they just weren't able to do that. But I will say, despite the fact that, it was wiped away, I think this is the most we've maybe seen Dak run in a game this year, and I like the decisiveness that he played with when he did it. I mean, that's about it. But yeah,
Third play early in that game, you're down 20-10. Mind you, being down 27 to 10 early in the game is kind of crazy, but you're down
please.
20-10. We got about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Dak scrambles, gets a 9-yard run because he slides 1 yard before the first down. And in my head, I was like, oh no. Something just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right that
1 yard, bro.
1 yard. I was like, I shouldn't have to be this scared that we're not going to convert, but we're in Denver. Things are weird in Denver. The very next play, we want to run the ball, right? We run the ball. Tyler Booker and Terrence Steele may have executed the worst duo block I've seen them try to execute all year.
Please,
It
please.
was terrible. Terrence gets a little bit of either Zach Allen, or I don't think it was Zach Allen. I think it was somebody else. Gets a little bit of whoever that guy was. Booker is now fighting him one-on-one. Terrence climbs to try to get Singleton. Singleton hits him with a whatever, gets around Steele. Whoever Booker was on just says, excuse me, sir. Throws Booker out the club, and now you've got Singleton and an interior defensive lineman crunch down right on Javonte Williams. No game. So now it's 3rd and 1. You figure Probably should run it again. Nope. They try to throw the quick out. Great read by Cooper, who sees the quick set, drops back, almost gets the pick. Now it's fourth down. Probably could have went for it right there. Instead, they punt the ball. They go down and score a touchdown, 27-10. It's just little things right there, too.
No, man, I
Little
don't like that.
things.
I don't like that because for the game within the game for a defensive player, I'm like, "Oh, they soft." Like,
Mm.
and not that they're soft, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not. It's 1 yard. You had multiple times to get 1 yard,
1 yard.
and even like you said, they opted to pass, run. It's like go heavy like they have all game with you with multiple tight ends and multiple linemen and all this stuff. Their fullback and just try to punch it in. Like I felt like there are times where there's some overthinking going on as well, like you were talking about, Sky.
And then finally, the interception at the end of the half we kind of talked about earlier. He's pressing.
Mhm.
It's down 27-10. We're trying to get 14 on one play. You just can't make that throw. That may have been his worst decision of the season so far. Do I think it ultimately mattered? I don't. I think the game was going to go the way it was going to go, but you still could have at least got three right there, made it 27-13, scored touchdown, opening drive, and then it could have been a one touchdown game.
Mhm.
But the way your defense was playing, they went down and did what? They went down and scored more points. But I that one right there, those was that 1, 2, 3, 4 plays, and then you cap it off with the interception, the turnover at the end of the half. I mean, that's basically for Denver. Chef's kiss. Thank you for beating yourselves, right, and helping out an already elite defense.
Yeah, they're going into the locker room. I mean, I know Denver going into the locker room like, "Oh, let's go.
Oh, we
Let's
got
go
him.
finish these guys." Yeah, like and because of some of the decisions like you're talking about, the lack of aggression, the lack of urgency, the lack of confidence that you can do it. 'Cause that's what it made me feel like is like some of the decisions from Shoddy didn't seem confident, and we haven't
Yeah.
seen that, and I don't know again if that's because he went up against a really good DC and a really good defense, but the Shoddy that we have seen is confident. The Shoddy, the Dak Prescott that we've seen with Shoddy is confident, and it didn't feel like that. It felt like they were getting their lunch money taken, and that was weird, kind of, especially with how this offense has performed this year.
And once again, the reason why I detail these small details offensively is because you have to know, in a game where you're decimated this way, in a game where you already started to see that your defense is getting whooped on, you have to be cleaner. You have to be more aggressive,
Mhm,
because the odds are saying the Denver defense is going to score some type of points. Now, they ended up scoring a bunch of damn touchdowns, and
mhm.
Sean Payton was like, all right, look, it's time to run this thing up, baby. And look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a Sean Payton fan. People get on Sean Payton and they try to call him McCarthy and things like that. That's fine. You can say what you want to say about Sean Payton. I think he's done a great job in turning around two organizations that were terrible before he got there. And we'll see what happens with Denver in the future. But you want to talk about the confidence and the gusto and the energy? Sean got it. Did you hear what he said after the game?
No.
Sean Payton basically said, yeah, we knew we were going to do this. It was a one-sided game. You don't ever hear coaches come out talking like that. He said, "Yeah, we knew, we saw what we saw on tape, we knew," and he's right. He said we knew they couldn't keep up. I would play that clip over and over and over to Flus. I play it over and over and over to the defensive players. Are y'all embarrassed enough yet? Are y'all embarrassed enough yet?
I don't you know what? When it comes to that side of the ball, and I know we're not talking about them, I don't think they care about being embarrassed. I believe that the players are they know the DC is taking a lot of heat. So I feel like they don't feel like it's embarrassing for this is just me
Yeah, you're
speaking.
just speculating. I'm just thinking.
I'm just because at this point, when you talk about the embarrassment, are they embarrassed? I mean, every week? It's every week.
Every
Like,
week.
at some point in time, you stop being embarrassed because it's your norm.
It's numb. You become numb to it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think they're embarrassed. I think they expect for things to kinda go how they go, and then
Oh,
even so,
that's
with some of
that's
the decisions
you
that
gotta
they're
get out my
making.
you gotta get out my locker room then.
Well, yeah, but even with some of the decisions that they're making, there's business decisions being made, y'all.
Well, I
It's
mean,
people not wanting to attack gaps. It's people not wanting to tackle.
tackle.
It's people not playing their assignment. It's guys out of position. So it's a mixture of, yeah, this scheme, and I think that what they're being asked to do is not conducive. But also too, I believe that some of the players are like, F it, Sky.
I mean, yeah,
F
you
it.
got bad players, number one.
We gonna look bad anyway. What
That's
what does
oh,
it
I
matter if
can't.
I don't play my gap?
Oh, I gotta get out my locker room. You gotta go if
And
that's
I
your thought
and I
process.
agree with you, but I
That's
really feel like it's just I'm getting this energy and this feel from them, and
and
even
to
watching them on
me,
tape.
that is a coaching problem.
Is that a
Bec- because if you've got a collective of guys saying
mosquito?
I F it. I'm not, which there are, by the way, they are not bought into this scheme. We're not going to drop names, nothing like that, but they're not bought into it. But it's one thing to be not bought in, and then it's another thing to allow that to affect your mentality play to play of, I don't care. Now, if you don't, now that's a you thing. If you don't care as a football player on that football field about how you look, because you're gonna lay blame on the coach, that's a you thing. We can't have a combination of your coaches not only don't have a quality scheme, but they also can't get these guys coached up enough or have these guys play for you or play for the scheme or play for whatever the philosophy that you as you will. Because there are certain coaches that you'll run through a wall for, right? And then
Mm.
there's certain coaches you'll run to the wall for. And that's I don't even know if they're running to the wall.
Yeah, they asking what's on the other side. They like,
They're like,
is it
wait,
pit bulls over there?
you know
I
how
heard it was pit
you
bulls
know
over
how
there.
black folk, if somebody run, we don't ask questions, we just running.
Mm-mm.
When your head coach
Nah.
over in Detroit talk about biting kneecaps, if he start running, we running.
People
When
now
Eberflus start jogging, they looking around like, what he running for?
what he running for?
He running to the noise in the basement in the dark. He got that.
We ain't even
But if
stretched
if
yet.
Campbell run to the basement in the dark, we all run into the basement in the dark.
Well, I feel like that energy
I
exists
think that's
on the
real.
offensive side. Yeah,
I think
I
that's
think,
real.
yeah, I believe that the players really like the offensive coaches, but defensively, like it is just y'all. And we had a question come in the girls talk, boys talk today. A gentleman asked, like, I know we're talking about flus, but when are we gonna start talking about these individual coaches? You know, these positional coaches as well. And I think that that's a conversation to have too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense when you switch over an entire coaching staff, which they needed to. They have to stop holding over prior coaching staffs,
Mhm,
and it doesn't work that way. But when you
mhm.
switch over entire coaching staffs, but 90% of your personnel is the same, there's going to be some pushback. I think, especially when it's like, who are you? Like, what have you done? You know what I'm saying? You just got fired in your last place, and now we look like trash. So there's going to be some of that. And honestly, I wouldn't care if they were playing better because the Cowboys need to find some continuity with the defensive coaching staff.
Mhm.
The problem is, I think we're likely going to be in another situation of a different coordinator. I don't know how you bring back this staff. I don't know how you bring back this
You can't.
coordinator if you're not going to completely, and this may be possible, overturn every aspect of that defense. Even some of the players that you thought were good have to go,
Yeah.
right? I don't care if you signed them to big money. They clearly aren't working with this specific staff. And look, this specific staff or head coach or coordinator may not have the eye of the talent to get regular Joe Schmo to play above average, right? And if that's the case, you got to pick a new one. And I'm not for a bunch of change, but damn it, I can't bring this back if this is how it's going to be, and that locker room is not going to be bought in.
I think whatever they decide to do, and I agree with you. I feel like the I don't know. I feel like you could put stitches on this wound, you can do all that other stuff, but I don't feel like it's ever gonna really like heal for real.
Mm.
With and so with me, if you are gonna do an overhaul and on that side of the ball again, for your players' sake, you have to have a collective conversation about it. I think you need a couple of your team leaders, as far as, a couple, maybe a couple of the defensive team leaders. I think you need
Who is that?
shoddy. I'm gonna punch you. Whoever is gonna be here, which it seems like a guy
Mm.
like an Osa is gonna be here. A Donovan Izaraku will probably be here. Like that's about a Deron Bland, and ask them what is it, what is it that you guys want to do, and then also too, from let Brian Schottenheimer, who put together a fantastic offensive side of the ball. Not saying that he just knows defense, but he clearly knows what some level of good coaching looks like to me. It gotta be a collective thing, because one thing that I'm noticing is that the players, this is the second year in a row that coaches, because there were coaches last year that weren't, that were here when Zimmer was here,
Hmm.
that were previously here with Dan Quinn, and did not take to the scheme,
But
did not
that's
take
what I mean.
to.
You can't have holdovers.
That's what I'm saying. But
And
that's what I'm
Zimmer
saying.
said it. I wish I could do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I tried to mesh things because of Al
Hmm.
Harris being here. And there's the biggest problem. Al Harris is a defensive backs coach.
Yeah.
Zimmer's a defensive backs coach. You
Yeah.
kept the linebackers coach. He brought in his right hand man who's a linebackers coach. That can't happen. I'm okay
Yeah.
with stripping the defensive staff. What I'm not okay with is you pick that defensive staff, Jerry, or defensive coordinator. Let the coordinator pick his staff. But you picked that defensive coordinator before you picked the head coach. You didn't even allow him to pick the guy he want to match the energy on
Yeah.
the other side of the ball.
And I think that's a lot of the problem. So if you are gonna do it, whoever you bring in here, you are trying to get some of these conversations out the way now. The philosophy, the style, the temperament, all that stuff. So it's not some surprise in the middle of the season. And then also, this person is hopefully around for multiple years. So you can establish something,
And or
because
you bring in a farm system.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe nice to develop a philosophy. It's no coincidence
what do you want to
that
be?
exactly that teams like Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Kansas City, San Francisco,
Even Philly.
uh, Philly to an extent, but yeah, these teams. Well, yeah, Philly has they've had they had a time where they
They
had
went
Jim
through
Johnson and they
they went
switched to
through a
three
whole bunch.
four, but
Yep.
they the teams that we named have a philosophy of what they want to be. And
Mhm.
when they move on from defensive coordinators, they maintain that philosophy
Mhm.
with either hiring within or bringing in somebody that does that similar thing. Where the Cowboys, and I've said this ad nauseum, I know y'all probably tired of me hearing this, they've snip snapped so many times between 3-4, 4-3, 4-3 over, 4-3 under, multiple regular zone, man, cover three. It's been so many different philosophies with so many
Mhm.
different personnels and match that, and then you mesh the personnel, you mesh the coaching staffs, you get a cluster F of not being consistent. You
Absolutely.
have to settle on what you want to be, and as much energy that you put in draft and develop, you need to put that energy in coach and develop. You
Talk
have
about it.
to.
Talk about it,
You
because
have
that's
to
the
on that side
problem.
of the ball.
That is a huge problem for you
You
right now.
put in so much, and rightfully so. You put in so much effort, coach and develop. Right on the other side, when you look at how they brought in Jason Garrett, and who then brought in Scott, who brought in Kellen, and then when Kellen or when they leave, Kellen's the guy, right? And then when Kellen leaves, McCarthy. This is continuity. It may not be the same offenses, but it's similar stuff. It's continuity. You're not making super drastic changes to
Mhm.
your quarterback. Why not do the same on the defense side of the ball so that when you decide to move on from a defensive coordinator, it's like, all right, how does this guy fit? Or guys, because the problem is multiple guys do not fit in certain
Mhm.
philosophies.
No. Yeah, like, and that's why I'm saying, like, we can be hard on the defense all day,
Yeah.
and there's blame to go, but this is not sustainable, and it's really not normal. I mean, I think Philly went through 2 or 3 different defensive coordinators before they landed on Fangio, and then
Well,
they finally got Fangio.
Well, the thing
What?
is, Fangio was actually there for their first Super Bowl run in 2020. Well,
Mhm.
their other Super Bowl run in 2022. He was a consultant. They were running Fangio's defense when they were the number one defense in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
So, and they kept that. You know,
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. You can go through different coordinators, but they kept the philosophy. So when Fangio stepped in, there's no difference. We just get better
Mhm.
players, and we run it how I know how to run it.
Yeah, we
And
gotta
Dallas
ask.
doesn't do that. Dallas should have kept either Joe Witt or kept Al Harris. I know you may say Joe Witt's defense isn't doing great, and that's whatever. Just the continuity. Or keep Zimmer. But it kept Zimmer. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah,
it,
no, you're right, bro.
it's frustrating right now. Uh, they play the Arizona Cardinals on Monday. Not going to be an easy game by any means. Kyler Murray is undefeated in AT&T. The Cardinals have your number. You've lost 7 of 8. Your defense is terrible. So at this point, I do not care who they play. They could be playing the Harrisburg Cougars, who are a high school team right now in the city that I'm from.
Goodbye.
I don't trust them. I'm done really talking about that defense versus an opposing offense until they prove anything to me from a consistent basis. I know I keep telling y'all this, Cowboys Nation. I'm sorry. I'm done. You can talk to me. We can complain about them. We can, but I'm not breaking down this terrible ass defense against any offense anymore.
Yeah, because it's too many things. Like, if you really did a full breakdown about what you see that's being poorly done defensively, I mean, that tape study could be for hours because it really is that much dysfunction and things going wrong and basic things that they're not doing correctly. So,
Yeah. Well,
mhm.
happy birthday to us, damn it. I mean, golly,
Right.
Cowboy. All I wanted was a Cowboy dub, man.
Oh, it
All
would
I
have been
wanted.
so much better.
I just wanted to come on stream on Monday. Happy birthday to happy. Shouts out to Stevie Wonder, man.
But we
But
just got to do it ourselves.
appreciate it. And by the way, I was doing the Stevie Wonder, by the way. Some people might be like, "Oh, Sky, I could dance, damn it." All right,
I
I
seen
was
it,
just doing the
twin.
Stevie Wonder. That's
I
all.
seen it.
Yeah, she synced it. She know I.
Yeah, yeah. He's the twin that got more rhythm.
Yeah, so I mean,
I
don't be
mean,
over here judging me because I did this. You know what I mean,
don't be
I
talking
take
bad
pride in
about me.
having rhythm. Goddamn.
Talking
But
bad about my twin.
yeah. Oh, so for those who may not know, if y'all lasted to the end, we don't just say we twins because I know y'all look alike. Y'all light skin. Yeah, short. Yeah, I get that. We have the same birthday. If you didn't catch that, yeah, we
Sky's
have the
my
same birthday.
variant.
Yes. What is it? The other timeline? What they call it?
Yeah, you're my variant from another
Yeah, the
timeline, like in
doppelganger.
Loki.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're gonna get up out of here. Appreciate y'all. Basically, this was a vent session. Apologies if you've already heard 15 of these things by the time this drops.
Sky had to get it out. He had
But
to get it
I
out.
had to get it out. I told you before. I said, hey, look, if you catch me venting on this episode, just let me go.
Nah, it's just.
I haven't had a chance yet. On Monday I said, nah, I'm not letting them ruin my day after birthday. I'm not letting them ruin it. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to enjoy my day. But appreciate you as always coming through. I thought this was a great one. We'll see what happens throughout the week if we want to break down this Cardinals game. Either way, should be having that special guest next week. We will let y'all know for sure. But keep it locked on the Sky and 2i show. We out here. Love y'all. Peace.